It's hard because I can't see who's in the chat. Amazing. All right. We're just going to give it a minute, you guys. Let some more people join the webinar, and then we'll get started probably at 9:05. I feel like that's a good time. I feel like I should have like hold music or something. Hold music or like those quizzes. I don't know if you guys know about the quizzes that they have in the taxi cabs in New York. While you're like riding in a taxi, you can like do quizzes. That's what I should have had here.
They keep us all occupied and get us through Tuesday anyway.
Get us through Tuesday, exactly. All right. All right. All right, guys. I feel like we've given enough time. Let's get started. I'm so excited. Everybody, welcome so much to Beyond the Screen. This is our first product webinar that we've ever done, and I'm really excited about it. So let's get going. So I have with me today, I have with me Olivia. She is one of our product managers. And Indrit, he is a senior software engineer here at SalesScreen. And I am Brittany. I'm going to be your host. I'm the go-to-market director at SalesScreen. I'm also the person that messages you all of the time in the platform. So I should look familiar to you guys. But this is Beyond the Screen. This is our first product webinar that we've ever put on, which is really exciting. We're going to do this quarterly moving forward. So this will come out again in January of next year. We'll talk about our roadmap. We'll talk about all the things that are going to be coming out in 2025, which is super exciting, but just another way for us to be in touch with you guys, another way for us to give you a heads up of what's coming, and also go through some of the new releases that we'll be putting out throughout the year. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm really excited about it. Olivia is going to walk us through the new metrics release. She's also going to walk us through the new player profile, which is very exciting, and I can't wait for her to show you that. And then Indrit has been kind of sneaky working on something these past couple of months, and we're really excited about it. It has to do with AI. It's going to be very cool. And he's going to give you guys a sneak peek of that a little bit later. And then we will have a Q&A at the end of this. So feel free, you can put your questions in the chat as we go along. Depending, we might stop and answer some of those questions, but we do have dedicated time at the end of this webinar to answer anything that you guys may have. Amazing. So without further ado, we're gonna hop right into this. And we're going to start with our new player profile. So, Olivia, can you tell us a little bit about what the new player profile is?
Of course. I think maybe best if I actually just share my screen for this and we can start diving in. Okay. Yeah, you may have to end your share screen. And then
I can stop sharing.
Fantastic. Okay. I just want to check that you can see this fine.
Mhm.
Okay, fabulous. Yeah, so we have the new profile. The reason that we have done this is because we have decided to streamline the user experience by consolidating 3 pages, which we currently have, which is the home, the feed, and the profile, into just two, which will now be the home and the profile. So the new home page, which you are looking at right now, this will merge key elements from both the current homepage and the existing feed page. And this offers a more unified experience and space for you to see company-wide updates and achievements, so what your colleagues are doing, while also having oversight now on your key performance metrics. So it's a better way to give you a way to track your performance, see critical elements. So if you're dropping in certain areas, but also have a broader overview of everything that's going on. So this is nice because it simplifies the navigation. It reduces the clutter as what we've had before, having to navigate between 3 different pages, but brings those key elements together in one cohesive place too. So as you see with this profile, users and managers alike can view this. Um, we have the key metrics down here. And this is nice because it gives visibility on who is hitting their targets, reaching their performance. And in addition to that, we have new action segment too. And this action segment surfaces information that individuals must take. That might be responding to a battle request, or as an admin, maybe you have a reward request. So while we currently inform users of this information, we do it via notifications. And having listened to some of your feedback, we understand that these notifications are getting drowned. So often we have a lot of information coming in, you're not seeing those important tasks that must take place, and therefore you're not being able to actually take action on the things that are going to improve your performance or encourage engagement within the platform. So this is the idea of the actions, as well we can surface this relevant information to both users and admins to make sure they're keeping on track of their tasks. So that said, with this seamless navigation, you can now access your profile, other profiles straight here from the feed. It's super easy. A little bit like what we had before, where you can access the profile via image here. You can also access others via the links in the feed too. So it's nice for these whole new player profiles. So I'm going to go ahead and access Ralph Freeman, who I am representing today, and take you through this profile. So from a personal experience and also listening to customers, we completely understand that navigating between the different modules to grasp kind of a comprehensive view of everything a user's performance within Sales Screen can be super time consuming. It's like inefficient. You're having to filter through each of these different modules and elements. And so being able to kind of piece together a holistic understanding is really difficult due to this like fragmented presentation across all the different modules. So with this in mind, the new player profile brings it all together into one place. And it's a powerful upgrade, if I must say myself, which gives users and managers a kind of a hub that simplifies all of this personalized user experience. So now it enhances the engagement. It gives a user's like entire performance journey from current to historic. And you can see, things like these timeline views to coaching experiences. So for both managers and users, it's really going to change the way that you integrate with the platform. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I love this.
the
I
summary about the profile on the homepage and how we've merged the three together from, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this is awesome. I love this. I love this game stats page. I think that this is so
Mhm.
fun. I'm somebody that really loves endorsements. Endorsements are like one of my favorite parts of the sales screen platform. So I love being able to see how many endorsements I've given, how many endorsements I've gotten, the amount of coins that I've sent out. My battle stats are not great, so I don't really enjoy seeing my battle stats, but I do enjoy seeing my endorsement stats. So I love this page.
Mhm.
I did want to ask, you had mentioned that everybody would be able to see this, right? So your managers can come to this profile page, your team members, other teammates can come to this profile page. What about privacy settings? So is that something that an end user can control? Is that something that a manager controls?
Yeah, then that's a really good question. Probably something that, yeah, we should address first of all, because I can imagine privacy is a big concern to a lot of you customers out there. Privacy will not be impacted by this new profile release. So we are actually going to be pulling in the previous restrictions that you have in place from a company level. So this is based on the account settings. It's not going to be determined by the user itself. This is all done from the very high up. So currently, while we release this, there are 3 elements that we are taking into consideration. So we have the profile, which you can then see the game stats. This is the first page that I landed on. And the game stats is more like your bragging rights. It's fun, inclusive information, but it doesn't give away too much. It's not giving away your data related to, your performance within the company itself. It's all the gamification elements. We then break it down into the gamification side, which if I move here, you can see these different tabs, and these are all the gamification elements within the platform. So your achievements, battles, competitions, endorsements, and rewards. These are something different, and I'll go into each of them in a little bit. And then finally, we have the data aspect, which refers more to your key metrics. And so every user from default will be able to go into another user's profile and see their game stats. Again, this doesn't give away, from our opinion, too much information. It restricts the data level, like we're not given across data which should be hidden or kept private from one user to the next. Again, this is all related to gamification. The gamification elements themselves will have their own privacy restrictions. As default, everyone will be able to view each other's gamification elements. And that's from the timeline view, which we can also go a little bit more into in a bit. Unless you have currently in your profile or in your account, enabled the achievements feature flag. So right now it's set to none. That means every user can see what each other is earning in achievements. So I could see someone else in my company's achievements. If you have enabled this feature flag and you have limited it to maybe team, that then restricts me as a user to only see the individuals within my team as to what they are achieving. And if you have enabled this, then we will limit your gamification elements to the same setting. So if you have no filter on it, everyone will be able to view each other's gamification elements and pages within the profiles. If you have, then obviously it'll be limited based on your current restrictions and settings. All of this will be able to be changed by yourselves within your platform. You can also speak with CS or reach out to them prior to the release if this is a concern to you or for you, and then we can make changes. The most important bit to get from this is the data. And the data I'm referring to is your key metrics page, which we'll also dive a little bit deeper into. Your key metrics pulls in your raw data and your raw stats. As default, everyone will only be able to see their own profile. Admins and managers, however, will be able to see the key metrics for the users that they manage. So similar to what we have now. It's hard to pull together your current settings because, as I'm sure you're all familiar, dashboards have their own settings and filtering options on each respective dashboard. So we can't necessarily pair everything. So we've decided to go with baseline default, keep it as safe and private as possible. However, we do really encourage you to come in here and maybe open it up if you don't need to be so strict with data sharing. Because the idea of this is that it's meant to be fun. You're meant to see each other's profiles. It's meant to be engaging and create a little bit of healthy competition and keep the motivation like from one user to another and challenging each other. So this will be restricted from one user to their own. However, we do encourage you to open it up if possible. And finally, I should mention coaching and scorecards. This is limited to view only, and the same with ongoing, actually. We'll, again, you're probably wondering what all of these are. We'll dive a little bit more into them. These 3 tabs will be restricted to the user only. If you have user or manager access, no matter on kind of your privacy rights, it'll always be the user can only see it and also those that manage the user. So this will never be available for any other users in the platform.
Okay. So it essentially follows all of the privacy settings that the overall account has set up, but coaching scorecards and key metrics are all user or manager.
So coaching, scorecards, and ongoing are user and manager. key metrics is going to be dependent on your settings within the
Oh,
privacy.
got it.
So if you allow data to be shared within the team, maybe you can see the key metrics. If you went into a colleague of yours who's in your team, if you came into my profile, you could then see my key metrics because we have access to each other as we're in the same team, let's say. It could be based on department level, it could be based on company level. If you want to keep it super strict and not change anything, then it's still set where you can only view your own. Mhm.
Perfect. Awesome. Okay, cool. Will you go into some of these gamification pages for us?
Of course, my absolute pleasure. I will start with the ongoing page because I personally think this is quite exciting and also a nice place to begin with. And so the idea of the ongoing tab is that it's a page dedicated to all the ongoing tasks. So whether that's upcoming sessions, your competitions, like the previous homepage, which encompassed all of this, we have now, with the addition of that, got progress towards your KPIs, which we saw on the homepage and along with your actions. And also, we have now added your recent activity. Um, this is in a much easier to visualize format, but also it's a way of users becoming a little bit more aligned with their work, being more efficient and track their progress and to like close out the tasks, things that they have ongoing at this time. But also the benefit from this is from a user perspective, from an admin perspective, excuse me. So previously this was private to just the user. Now managers and admins will also have have access to this. So this gives them oversight into a user's current activity. You can see their engagement with the platform. So you might come in and you might be running a coaching session with this individual, for instance, or maybe you're just checking their profile. And you're thinking, Ralph here has a lot of outstanding actions to take, and he has a lot of tasks coming up which he's still yet to complete. And so the idea is it gives you a bit more of a better understanding as to where your users may be dipping in performance and where they could use a little bit extra encouragement. So
Mhm.
that's why I love the ongoing page from both a user and admin perspective.
Mhm.
A new page that we have added into here is the key metrics. And there might be a little bit of confusion here because to some of you, it looks very similar to dashboards. The idea of this is that we have also received a lot of feedback from yourselves that dashboards are super complex. It's hard to ensure that the user dashboard displays the correct information. And so we decided that it was time to give this real-time performance metrics and progress KPIs a page of their own. So users and managers alike can compare performance, one with their team, given access rights, but also being able to have oversight of how you're progressing. But this way, it just encourages engagement, gives a little bit more of a healthy competition as well. So without the need of having to dive in through multiple dashboards, a user can come to their own profile or a manager can, or given your restrictions, if I have access to someone else within my company, I can go to their key metrics too and see how they're doing. But as you'll see here, Ralph is 109% of his target. So he's doing fantastic for this current month. You can change the period which you're viewing this for. But right now we're defaulted to a team comparison. So even if you have super strict data kind of restrictions, if you allow it, we will let you compare this user's performance with others in their team without having to give away any of the information of anyone else in the team. So as you can see, Ralph is first place with 109%, and that's out of 49 users. However, if we're having strict privacy rights, you can show that, okay, this user is not in first place. So the user in first place is at 68%, let's say, the user is at 68%, and you are actually 12th out of 49 in your team. So that way we're not giving away their data, we're not telling you who the leader is, but it's nice as a user to see, okay, last month I was ranking second out of my team and now I'm ranking 10th. And it's a really good way of fostering some healthy competition and engaging the users to improve their performance. And then the next element is the whole comparison too. So you can compare your performance with users in a team if you have access to that, or as a manager, maybe you want to compare Ralph to someone else in your team who you know is usually neck and neck, and you can see how they are sitting next to one another. So I love the new metrics page. I think it's super simple. It's nice because now you're not having to navigate all these modules, go through the different dashboards and filter on Ralph himself or your user yourself. You can see all of this just in one profile, and it's really easy to jump between. Let's take you back to the game stats. So as I said, this is the initial page that you land on when you come into someone else's profile. And it's nice because, yeah, it displays statistics, it's related to the gamification elements, and it allows quick and easy access to then the respective pages too. So should you then have access to the gamification elements, you can quickly jump from here in competitions and dive in a little bit deeper. Or as you can see here, we have this drop down. So if I go to battles, for instance, you can see that we have a lovely timeline view. It formats this super nicely. So especially as users themselves, they have good oversight of their performances in the past, but especially as a manager, you get to come in here and you get to assess their complete gamification journey. So as I said, you don't have to dig through these modules anymore. You can reflect on their progress and offer insight into like past participation, etc. And the same can be, you go to competitions, and competitions are super great because maybe you're going through here and you're looking, okay, so and so has been doing really well. They came first in the last competition, but I've been noticing a trend where every time I run the Feeling Lucky competition, they're dropping to fourth or sixth. So it's a good way of understanding your user and how you can better foster greater results for them, greater team encouragement, etc. Because here I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe Ralph needs a lottery competition. Maybe that's how he succeeds best based on the results that I'm seeing here. And so having also oversight of the positioning is really useful information so that you can tailor the experience to this user going forward. And I think then the final thing that we have, we have coaching and scorecards as well. So similar to what we have now, we have the timeline view of the coaching. However, this is super nice. You can have the filtering options based on the program, but this also allows managers to have better oversight on the competition progress of their users. So without the need of filtering through their programs and then identifying where those users are, you can quickly have seamless kind of oversight of this user, identify gaps, and this way it optimizes the developmental process. So it makes coaching outcomes a lot more effective. You can really look at, okay, this coaching session was rated low and we've only completed 2 tasks. So again, you can act on these dips in performance and really check in with your users and participants. And finally, we have our scorecards page too. And I love this page. It draws together the scorecards, which we already know it. But again, for a user, it now sits in their own personal environment. But we've introduced this new performance score trend, which I think is super useful because not only are you able to have oversight as a user into, okay, yeah, I see that I dipped in December, but I'm on the way up now and I'm improving. But maybe it's interesting for a manager to also notice these changes in trends so they can monitor current progress and maybe make some different suggestions, facilitating better goal setting, etc. So I think this is a super useful addition to the scorecards view. And I
Yeah.
think that wraps up profile.
Yeah, I love that performance trend line on scorecards. I think that we have a lot of customers that work in industries that it's really kind of like economy driven. So
Mhm.
real estate and insurance and mortgage um, and so it's really nice to kind of see because obviously you have your scorecard and you can compare the dates and periods and whatnot, but it's nice to kind of see it all laid out like that because sometimes performance dips not because someone's not being productive, not because someone isn't doing what they're supposed to be doing, but sometimes it just dips because that's what's going on in the economy or that's what's going on in that industry or whatever. And so having that full view of what the
Mhm.
performance is over the entire period is, I think, super helpful and insightful. So I love this feature. Um,
Yeah, I can
I think
agree
this
with
is
you.
a great yeah, I think this is a great one. Olivia, what is your favorite feature of the player profile?
My
If you could
favorite
only
feature.
pick one.
One, okay. I think it would have to be, I actually didn't show this, so it's probably a good time to the new achievements page. And so what we've tied in together with the existing of we've with the new profile now, we've realigned the achievements. And so we have a new addition called the trophy cabinet. And I love this because we really focus on the individuals like longest streaks and highest number of unlocks. We draw attention to the things that they're doing really well. And as we should, because they're putting in a lot of effort to continuously unlock these achievements. They're making really great headway, and we want to surface that and help them really show that off to other users. So I love that we're now surfacing these at the top of the page. And you may see down here, I actually don't know if you've seen this yet, Britt, but we have released a new tier system. And this tier system, as you can see here, so it's a ring comprised with some jewels. And the idea is that it's based on your unlock level. So we have 3 different tiers. We have tier 1, which is represented by 1 jewel here. And that means you've unlocked this 5 times. So it's exciting. It highlights the achievements that you're unlocking regularly, and you've got a good number, or you're focusing well on it, let's say. Tier 2, 2 jewels, and that's if you've unlocked it 10 times. And as you guessed it, tier 3 has 3 jewels, and that's unlocked if you've done it 20 times. And so I love this because it really highlights those that you are consistently going for. And also as a manager is coming into this too, it really emphasizes, okay, yeah, this user is focusing heavily on this achievement. Maybe I can make something else with the same metric to push them a little bit further. And then finally, you can see these new streaks as well. So we're really emphasizing the ones that users spend a lot of time on.
I love it. Awesome. Very cool. Let's hop into, I'm going to steal this screen back if you don't mind, but we're going to hop into these new metrics forms. The new metric forms, granted, don't feel like a very sexy release, especially after we just went through that entire player profile, which is very cool, with lots of new data points and lots of different ways to view data and whatnot. The new metric forms kind of sounds a little bit like, oh, okay. But if you are creating anything in the platform on a regular basis, whether it's competitions, you're creating slides, you're building dashboards, whatever, anything that you would normally use a form to create, this is such an exciting release. I feel like I sound like a dork being like, oh my gosh, the metric forms, but they really are, they're really so helpful. It completely changes the way that you create anything in the platform, and it makes it so much easier and so much more streamlined. Um, because prior to this, it was, you step by step, and you had to get all the way through to the end. You had to save it as a draft. Then you were able to go back and look at it, and then you'd have to go back and edit if something was wrong or whatever the case. And now you get the opportunity to actually see what you're building within the form itself. And the way that we have created and updated these forms as well is giving so much more control. So I think it's amazing. So we have new forms that have been put out for that we're going to be releasing. We're going to do that for the competitions, for achievements, for dashboard widgets, and that's also available on web and app, which is very exciting, and slides. So those forms we're going to release them on a rolling basis at the end of this month. Oh, I should also say that we're going to be releasing player profile at the end of this month as well, which at the end of October, beginning of November, you guys will see that in your platforms. Metrics we're going to release slowly on a rolling basis. So you will see it in your platform by the end of the year. Everyone will have the new metrics by the end of the year, which is also very exciting. But I would love to just hop into seeing them.
Mhm.
So we've got a couple of videos here that Olivia is going to walk through. The first one, and I think the one that is the most exciting and probably the most relevant, is our competitions form. So I'm just going to play this video, and Olivia, you can take it away,
Sure.
girl.
Absolutely. Okay. Yeah, I'll try and keep it brief because I'm conscious of time. However, as you can see, we have new competitions here. So we have condensed the number of competitions we're offering, and this is a result of us changing metrics. So Champions Arena is actually a merger of many competitions, that being standard, average, average per user, custom targets, hit rate numeric, a lot of the ones where, okay, we had metrics and you had to choose based on the formula. Now, because formula is encompassed into the whole metric, we no longer have to make a decision prior to creating the competition. So you can actually customize the competition more to your outcome and what you want to achieve rather than wondering so much about that competition. As you see here, we have changed the wording of time to minutes to win it. And finally, I've gone a little fast, but we had prize ladder. Again, being a merger of multiple metrics and multiple metrics together, we also decided to change the names so it represented what the competition was a little bit more. So as you can see here, this is the new way of creating the forms. You get the backgrounds to choose from, and then you get to the create form. Everything is housed in one pop-up. So you get to browse the competitions, you get to see descriptions and tips, etc., and then you get to come into them individually. So here you can decide whether you want metrics, activity flow, you want scorecard. You then come in and choose your metric, as you can see. The next thing you're prompted to do is choose your date range. So it's really nice. We have some easy prompts there, like today, this week, this month, or you can use the calendar with our time set in, and you can actually use this to tailor the competition exactly to your needs. So again, we had this ability in the previous platform, but what's nice is that you can see the decisions you're making with your with your previous decisions too. So you can see the step-by-step as to how your competition is coming together. Then you can choose who is participating, and we have custom teams, and you can select all your participants, or you can filter out some if you don't want some users in this. And then we have a new way of creating custom teams, which I think is super exciting. You can choose how many teams you want or how many participants you want per team. And then you can also choose if you want to randomize those team names and images or randomly allocate those users to a team. So I think this is so exciting because it takes the work off of you as admins, and it lets us do it for you. So you no longer have to think of these yourself. It makes it so much more efficient. It's a lot more seamless, and you no longer have to spend time worrying about, okay, creating competitions. Who should I partner with who? So I think this is fantastic. As you can see, you can re-randomize all of these. You can, if not, you can pre-select who you want to join what teams to. So the custom teams, I think, is a fantastic new feature, and I really advise you to try it out because I think it will add a lot of benefit to. Sorry, it's going on for a while on these custom teams thing here, but I think it'll really benefit your competition create form. Yeah. So then you can set goals. In this instance, we don't have goals set. However, then you can choose your prizes too. So again, going back to what we're familiar with, you can have coins, you can have custom, you can have no prizes, the exact same functionality as what you're used to. So none of the functionality is lost here. We're just streamlining the process and making it more easy and efficient for you as managers, because the last thing we want is for you to be spending a lot of time creating these competitions when you've got everything else on your mind too. So that is the competition. If you want a little bit more insight and information, feel free to reach out to your CS team. We're also, as Britt said, going to be rolling these out slowly. So not everyone is going to get them from the beginning. We're going to be starting with some smaller organizations, make sure the conversions of metrics is working, and then you get the new create forms too. So by the end of the year, you will be having access to all of this as well. But we hope you like it with having the preview as well. It really does change the way you're creating the forms now.
Yeah, this has been such a game changer. I mean, obviously we use our demo accounts all the time when we're
Mhm.
working with customers and we're working with prospects and making marketing collateral and whatnot. And it's just my time using the forms has been it's been awesome.
Yeah.
I do feel so silly being like, I love the metric forms, but they
Yeah.
really it makes such a difference because you didn't realize how kind of limiting it felt to have the old forms.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
if I can
Yeah.
add one thing there,
Yeah.
it's actually really useful for the end user to be uh, to take data-driven decisions there. So you see in the preview things changing while you're changing the settings. So this will save a lot of time and effort for you to store, and then you go back and see the results. Instead, you just look at them on the right all the time, and you're also able to switch settings, switch the metrics, switch the way of showing it. For example, for widgets, you can go from a
Mhm.
leaderboard to a KPI to a timeline within the same widget and see how that change it shows on the graph on the right. So yeah, making it easier to use and faster to create those dashboards and gamification
Yeah.
elements.
I wonder if we should show the achievements in that
Yeah.
case.
Yeah.
I think that could be
Mm,
exciting. Um,
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, fantastic. Yeah, so going off of what Indrit was just saying with the new metrics now, you no longer have to worry about with the formula having to explain all of this. It is written there in the data. So from a end user point of view, you know exactly what you're aiming for. So with this now, we no longer have the whole automatic or scheduled. The new approach of creating achievements offers like a huge benefit because it removes the need to base your decisions off of the metric calculations, and instead we're focused on how we configure the competition. What is our desired end goal? What is our outcome? And the behaviors that we want to encourage this. So as you can see, it's a more step-by-step process. Now we've broken these achievements down into goal, high score, and top performer, which in my opinion, I hope you all will agree that it makes a lot more sense because you know that you're aiming for one of these rather than maybe combined record, high score, let's say. And then you choose your metric and you can tailor the achievement exactly how you want it to. So in this instance, a user can surpass their previous target of 200%, and it can be unlocked on these days, this often within this time frame. And I think this shifts exactly how we previously saw achievements, where we're focusing on the wrong thing. We're focusing on the metric itself rather than focusing on the outcome. So this will hopefully make it easier to design, but also align with your goals and engage your team more effectively too. And again, we have the whole filtering option. So hopefully we make this a lot easier for you to really tailor these achievements to your desired audience. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's so nice because these I think, it always takes a little bit getting used to whenever there's something new in the platform, but I think
Mm-hmm.
that it gives you so much more control over what you're doing. And like Indrit said, like being able to see as you're kind of like walking through it, being able to see what you're building it's so helpful.
Yeah.
I love the forms.
Yeah, no, I do too. I think it offers so much more. And maybe if we have 2 minutes, we can quickly show the slides one too, because I think that's super exciting. Because in terms of bringing in real-time data, which we've discussed, this really shows how beneficial it is when you're creating these as an admin. So you actually know what you're creating now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll wait for you
Let's
to pull it up and I'll.
Let me do, this is metrics. Here we go. Yeah, we
Yeah,
can show
yeah.
slides as well.
I think this is great because we've now broken it down into data, gamification, media, and recognition. So you can see all of the subtabs here. So we've got the gamification, you got your media. So there's different options. And I think they sit within their respective umbrella categories too. It makes a lot more sense. And if we go
Mhm.
back to data, you can select your metric. As we already know, this is formula enabled. So you don't have to worry about what the formula for this is, what the formatting is. And now you can see we have the data in real time. So you're creating these knowing exactly what the outcome is going to look like. I have based this on the last 30 days, and you can see how this data changes as you're changing the format. So you're no longer creating these slides blind, which I do understand it was a really frustrating issue previously. And it wasn't just customers providing this feedback constantly. I experienced it myself so many times. And so I think we can all agree something needed to change. And I think this will really change the way that managers are interacting with this, and also just really improving the efficiency and therefore engagement in the platform. And with the new metrics too, we're removing the element of chance and the possibility of pulling in the wrong formatting and formulas. Now, because metrics 2.0 encompasses all of that, it's reflecting the data you actually want to see. So KPIs will be a lot more accurate and trustworthy. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm excited for this release. I
Yeah, this
hope
one is,
everyone else is too. And not to sound geeky, but yeah.
I know this one is also a really exciting one. I do not use slides as often as I should, given the fact that
Hmm.
I actually manage a team. But um, this is so helpful. It's
Hmm.
such a different way of being able to see how you're building things in the platform. Um, it makes so
Hmm.
much more sense. It just makes everything so much more streamlined, but also more customizable,
Yeah.
which I think is excellent.
Yeah, I think so too.
Um,
And it saves the information you actually want to see. And you can ensure that prior to putting it on the TV screen too, or saving it to
yeah,
draft. Always double check what you've done. So yeah.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Amazing. All right. Favorite feature of new forms? Do we have a favorite feature of new forms?
My favorite feature, I think, would be the real-time data changes. So pulling in the data in real time when you're making those changes, I think you can't beat that. And I think most people would argue the exact same, that yes, we have a much easier format, step-by-step format, so you make sure that you're making decisions very easily and seamlessly as well. You're not worrying about, oh, I didn't do this on the previous slide or previous form. It's now here in one place. However, I don't think that can beat the real-time data updates. Mm-hmm.
I personally really like the fact that we offer up names for all of the competitions and slides and stuff.
Yeah,
That's
you can't.
my personal favorite because thinking of the names is so hard.
Yeah,
Uh,
and the same with custom teams. I already emphasized that though, but I think that is a great feature because you no longer have to worry about who shall I put in which team. Just do randomization, it's done for you. Saves you so much time.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's nice. Um, all right. So moving on to what I can only imagine everyone thinks is the star of the show, which is a sneak peek of our AI with Indrid. I actually made this little guy with AI. So isn't it amazing what AI can do for us? If you don't mind, Indrid, I'm just gonna pass to you and let you kind of walk through this if you want.
Yeah, sure.
That sounds
I can
good.
start sharing my screen right away,
Oh, you're
and then
all set.
I'll take it from there.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, okay. So I guess AI itself doesn't need any introduction because now it's pretty much everywhere. And we've been researching and looking through the building blocks now for quite a while, and keeping in mind all the work that a manager and a sales leader does on their daily basis. We know that it's important to be efficient, it's important to be data driven, and it's important to take actions and build those strategies faster and informed, which until now you have used the sales screen as a comprehensive tool for the performance. You have used it to showcase data, to instill accountability, and you have done so in collaboration with the CS team. And now we have a new tool which we've called Beta AI, which is able to understand the context of your company and perform tasks on top of the existing data that it can find within the company. So it's in a conversational way. It is displayed in here in a very similar style to ChatGPT or other tools that you might use. So in this case, I will just show a conversation I had with it yesterday. So I started by saying, write a summary of the company performance, all teams on deals value for the month of September. I tried to be a bit specific, so I said all teams and the date range. And what we got back was a table. Here's a summary of the company performance on deals value for September 2024. And it listed all the teams that are in the account. This is a demo account, and the data is accurate, and it is in 3 columns: chief deals value, target deals value, and performance. So target progression. And also it gives some overall insights. It says the highest performance was achieved by Bergen team. They reached 56% of their target, and also it gives some teams that didn't show strong performance. So as we can see here in the first example, we notice that it's able to understand the text that we feed and go behind the scene and get the data for us and present it in a readable way. Then we can go in here. I just asked for it to be ordered by performance, so it's easier to read. So in this case, I could see, okay, Bergen is top team, and then we have some teams in the bottom that haven't reached so much. Then we can continue. I say, in order to bring visibility to these numbers, can you create a dashboard showing data on deals value for each month? So in this moment, it knows, okay, we're talking about deals value. It knows that this is a metric. It knows that month is a period, and it's able to create a dashboard for us with widgets on that metric. So it provides a link for us, and if we click the link, we land in a dashboard with deals value widgets created, and we use some templates behind the scene. So we have configured AI to be smart and go after them. And it creates a widget for KPI, and then it lists the teams, also shows a time, a line chart, and then, shows breakdown by user and breakdown by team. Then from this moment, I continue the conversation and I say, okay, I want to motivate the teams with the lowest performance. Can you create a competition for the rest of the month, starting from this Thursday, that includes all users from teams Hamar, Oslo, Molde, and Bodø, which are cities in Norway. So it's able to go now and understand, first of all, what does it mean a competition that starts on Thursday until the end of the month. And then it picks up the correct date. So it knows 10th of October until 31st of October. And it's actually creating the competition on the spot in this case, because it has everything that it wants. It understands, okay, the users are from these teams. And then it knows that this is the duration. It knows what the metric is. So it creates a competition. And then I say, okay, can you recreate it using a nicer name and set a price of 1,000 coins for the winner? Because, you know, we are in the process of refining our model and working with AI. And sometimes it's supposed to ask for the coins, and sometimes it's not supposed to push you into the decision making. So we want to make it fast. In the previous case, it actually created it for us, but now we're asking it to create a price before it creates a competition. And then it comes with a creative name. It calls it Boost the Performance Challenge, correct dates, correct price, and it gives us the link. If we click the link, we will see that the competition is created. Just a second. It's called Boost the Performance Challenge. So there you go. It starts in 2 days, from 10th of October to 1st of November. It lists 8 users, which are from those teams, and the price of 1,000 coins that we set in the chat. And of course, the deals value, which is the metric. So this is actually one step away of publishing it. So it creates it as a draft just for you as a manager to double check everything if it's correct, and all you have to do is click publish, and then the competition is created. Then, okay, I continue the conversation. Then I'm curious, I say, which type of competition yields the best result, lottery or standard? And now it's using parts of the model that are connected to the historical data that we have in SalesScreen. And it's able to say, okay, maybe you get a better result if you use a lottery competition. And it's asking, would you like to take any specific actions based on this information? So as you can see now, it's you're taking actions fast, you're being data driven, but you're also helping the model learn along the way and take more specific actions. In this case, I could have also said create another competition of type lottery instead of the existing one. But I continued the conversation. I said, okay, I just asked for information. Can you tell me who was the best performer within the Bergen team? And then it's able now to go into Bergen team records for the deals value metric, and then pick up the best performer, which in this case is John K. And it says achieving a deal value of $13,000 against the target, and it gives key performance. And then it says, would you like to do anything else with this information? So you can see now all of this information that before was possible to fetch by navigating through the dashboards, by looking at the records, the source data, by checking the performance in a competition, or checking how a specific what a specific dashboard is showing or not showing. It's possible to achieve with the Copilot. And in the end of the conversation, I just say, okay, give me a list of all users with Bergen team, within the Bergen team, ordered by performance, just so I know top to bottom who is who are performing the best. And then for each of these messages, you can actually copy them and use them in your reports if you're doing a meeting or whatever you want to use it for. And then the conversation can continue quite long now. The limitations for the tokens are not in place. So I'm in a demo account. I can say, okay, can you now write this on a feed post inside South Feed? So it takes all of this table that we saw on the top, and then it creates a feed post for us. Then you basically can write whatever you want of this, but right now it just brings more visibility to them by posting it on the feed. And it's easy to create the conversations. You click start, and initially you are presented with capabilities of AI. For the moment, we are always working with new ones and refining the existing ones, but you're able to pick one of these options. You can say, for example, create a new dashboard, and then the Copilot will come back and say, okay, how do you want to name it? What specific metric you want to do, and what is the period? And then as soon as you provide this, you end up on the situations that we had before when the dashboard is created. Another discussion I had, a conversation I had yesterday with Beta AI is, can you update the deals performance dashboard with deals quantity? And then, so this is an existing dashboard inside SalesScreen, which shows deals value data. And then it says, okay, I need to check first if this dashboard exists. Apparently it doesn't exist, it says. And then I said, okay, maybe it's called deals value performance. So maybe I'm not sure. I'm too lazy to go to the dashboard and look at the name. And then it says, okay, yeah, I found two entries. There are two. One is September 24 and one is called performance dashboard. Then I said, okay, you can update the September one. And then it updates the deals value performance September 24, and it gives you the link here. And what we can see in this dashboard now is that beside the deals value we saw earlier, we also have deals quantity in the bottom. So it adds new data in the existing dashboards, which until now required manual effort from you guys as managers, but also from the CS team to figure out how to position them in the best way and in the most readable way. So yeah, as you can see, a lot of capabilities are added, and we are working on this constantly with product and with engineering. And yeah, we're really excited to see how you guys are going to use this and what suggestions you will have.
Yeah, this is really exciting. It's like so hard to keep my chill about this because this is really exciting. We do not have too much time left, but I do just want to give a little bit of time for Q&A. If there are any questions, you can throw them in the chat and we're happy to answer them. But just while we're here, while we're waiting, we are going to be running a beta for AI. Oh, sorry. Well, now I've just moved to this, but you can still put questions in the chat if you have any. But we are going to be running a beta for AI that's going to be starting later this year, mid-December or so. As participants to this webinar, you guys are going to get first access. So we will, in the follow-up email, not only will you receive this recording and the deck, but you will also receive a form to sign up for the AI beta if you're interested in joining. It will be a wait list. So we'll slowly kind of roll this out to customers as well in the beta. But if that's something that you're interested in, you can sign up. We would love to have you, love to get your insights and your feedback so we can make this even more amazing, although it's pretty stinking cool already. And as always, you can always head over to our product portal. That is where we have all of the different features that we want to work on, that we're currently working on. You can submit your own ideas. You can upvote on ideas that are already there, that are already added, to choose to show which ones you think would be the best to be in the platform. So yeah. Amazing. It does not seem like we've got any questions, and if we don't, that's okay. All right. Well, I feel like this is as good a time of any to end it. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us on our first Be on the Screen. Really excited for the next one in January to talk to you about 2025 plans. We will follow up with an email, like I said, with the recording. So even for those that missed it, will be able to see it. And have an amazing week. And stay tuned for more information on metrics, our player profile, and our new AI capabilities. Have a great day, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye bye.
Bye.